can't find nothing on the radio.
You ready, Steve?
Welcome to Songology. He's Bruce.
He's Richard.
And this is another episode from our Song of the Day archives.
Enjoy.
Welcome back, Bruce. And what do we have on tap for today?
Today, let us start by reminiscing a little bit. Because we're still talking about bands who are not in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
Do you remember the movie from the early 80s, Romancing the Stone?
Yes, I do.
Right? Kathleen Turner and Michael Douglas.
Yeah.
Do you remember the scene where they're lost in the jungle having evaded the bad guys and they've been stomping through the rain and slid down that hill and so forth?
And they're in the airplane fuselage?
Exactly.
And he pulls out a paper or something.
Yes, he pulls out while they're busy burning bricks of marijuana to stay warm, he discovers an old copy of Rolling Stone magazine.
Yes.
And do you remember why he's so upset?
Somebody broke up.
Yes, the Doobie Brothers broke up.
Yes.
Which, of course, at the time that was a current film, was really old news.
Yeah.
And therefore, actually pretty funny.
Yeah.
But I wonder if it's even funnier now that they got back together again. Because, yes, the Doobie Brothers are not in the Hall of Fame. The first run was from 1970 to 1982. They reformed in 1988 and are still kicking around. They were touring last summer.
Oh, okay.
So, again, not quite the original lineup, but many of the original people. When they started off, particularly in the early period from 70 to 75, the vast majority of the vocals were either from Tom Johnson or Patrick Simmons. And they were pretty much straight ahead rock and roll, with China Grove and Long Train Running and all of those songs. Late in 75, early 76, Tom Johnson got really quite ill, and it became clear that he wasn't going to be able to perform. And so he was out of the band for a while. Well, they recruited Michael McDonald, and that brought a whole different sound. And then, so when you think of the later Doobie Brothers stuff, Minute by Minute and What a Fool Believes and Taking It to the Streets, they sort of transformed themselves from a straight-ahead rock and roll band to sort of more of a blue-eyed soul outfit, and it was really quite interesting. They're also a little bit of a success story in the sense that their first album was a total bomb, but it was in the days when record companies were prepared to stick with an artist, and Warner Brothers Records said, yeah, it's okay, guys, don't worry about it. We know you can do better, and they developed into eventually a very, very successful band, and they are still touring today. They're not recording that I'm aware of anyway, but the song that I thought I would feature would be their first hit. Care to take a guess what it was?
Haven't a clue.
Prominently featured in radio jingles. No?
No?
That would be the ever popular Listen to the Music.
Okay.
All right. It was written by Tom Johnson, who also played guitar on the track. He says it was based on a kind of a utopian view of the world. Right? And he said in an interview, the idea was that music would lift man up to a higher plane, and the world leaders, if they were just able to sit down on some big grassy knoll where the sun was shining and hear music, like maybe my music, would figure out that everybody had more in common than they didn't have in common, and it wasn't worth getting in such a bad state of affairs about it. Everybody in the world would benefit from this point of view. And so music will make everything better. And of course, I've since realized that it doesn't work that way.
Uh-huh.
So Tom, of all of the songs that he wrote, this was the only time that he produced a little guitar part that he instantly knew, yeah, this is a hit. Yeah, he says he was sitting in his bedroom and he was living in San Jose, California at the time. And in those days, he would often just sit around playing the guitar for hours at a time. Just hours and hours, trying different things and noodling around. And he says it was about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning when he finally had the opening riff to Listen to the Music. And he was then really started to go at it and figured out the chord changes and so forth. And so by 3:30 in the morning, he thinks he's got it and he's really excited. And so he immediately phones their producer and makes them up and plays it for him over the phone. And he reports that the producer, a fellow by the name of Ted Templeman, he said, yes, Teddy was less than enthusiastic. Right, but he does say that Ted said, well, could be pretty good. It needs a couple of changes, so call me in the morning kind of thing.
Yeah.
But Johnson reports that they never changed a thing. It stayed exactly the way that he had originally worked it out. All the chord changes were the same and so forth. Tyrone Porter, their bass player, added the bass part, and the drummer added in the drum part. Pat Simmons put on the banjo at the end. And they had their first hit song. Did very well for them. As I say, they're still kicking around even now. But for all of the songs that we think of for the Doobie Brothers and all the different things that they have done, they are still not in the Hall of Fame.
And as usual, I have to stop it right there due to the wonderful world of fair use rules. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe. You can visit us on Facebook or head over to our website, songology.ca. Now, here's your chance to listen to the music or go on to the next episode.